Hi, this is Tate with Blackbird Outdoors, blackbirdoutdoors.com again, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite rifles again, the Mini 14. I love these weapons. These are modeled after the M14, which is still being used as one of their, battle rifles in the military. And they actually do call it a battle rifle, which is kind of nice with adjustable stock. Here in California, we can't have adjustable stocks, but having adjustable stocks and pistol grip is really the only difference they're doing with the ones that are here for the military. What I want to talk to you today is how to build it into a battle rifle like what we have here. Nothing super expensive, some cheap stuff that's going to make your gun really, really be a lot better and more useful for hunting or sport shooting or just in general prepping. A couple things I really recommend on a scoped rifle where you might be having to climb up to a higher viewpoint. Having a full 2-point sling on there, something you can sling on your back, throw on your back, is really important. So make sure you use both those points. Now, one thing I've done is I have moved the back sling mount from the bottom here to the top, and that allows me to be able to wear it in a low ready position, which I really like a lot better versus having it underneath where the gun's flipped over. So I don't care for that. Another thing I really, really like, and I recommend everybody do to their rifles, whether that is even 12 gauges. I mean, having extra ammo on the gun. Now this is a military style M16 Style Mag Pouch that actually straps to the stock. Now they make a couple different versions of this. They make the one with the collapsible stock for your ARs, and they make the one for the old style M16s. You can get these at Army surplus stores for right around the $8 to $10 mark. Really useful. They'll hold a 10, 20, and 30 round magazine right there. Sometimes it gets in the way with a 30, so sometimes a 20 is a little nicer on there, if you can get those in your area. The one thing that I really do like about this is it gives me a couple extra points to maybe I can actually strap my sniper stock, actually just attach it with a carabiner or even tie it on to the bottom here, so I always know it's with me when I'm hiking around. So it kind of keeps it in place when I'm hunting. Another thing that even comes with the Mini 14 are these awesome scope rings. This is something I definitely recommend everybody invest in. Getting a decent set of scope rings for your gun. This particular set for the Mini 14 is awesome. A decent scope. Spend $150 on a decent scope. I mean, nothing outrageous because we're not making 5,000 yard shots with a weapon like this, but truthfully, an incredibly accurate weapon when it is, and a flat shooter. The reason this gun is such a flat shooter over some of like the ARs and some of the other guns is, look where the scope is mounted in relative to the barrel. It's on the barrel. Every time I move this higher, that's changing my arc of sighting here. What this allows me to do is be right on the top of the barrel. Now up close at 25 feet, I'm only going to be an inch to an inch and a half high when it's going straight out the barrel. At 100 yards, that's going to be even less, and we're moving out there as we shoot. Makes it really nice. Now, one thing to think of for all you crazy people out there, this gun has been safety checked, as you can see. Real simple. Another thing that I really do recommend everybody get is a decent bipod. Now, this particular bipod can be extended out from 7 to 9 inches. I like this size better than I do anything else, and it is collapsible, and it does collapse in. It also has the easy release point here, where I can actually just unscrew this guy and the whole bipod pops off. Really super simple. It's done off of a sling pin mount. And these you can buy off eBay for about the $6, $7 mark. It takes the little 1/2 inch guy, will screw into the bottom of the gun there, and you might have to grind it down a little bit on some of the versions, but it goes right into the wood, and that allows you to be able to mount your bipod on there. Huge, huge advantage in being able to make accurate shots and actually test whether your gun is actually shooting accurately. The other thing I like about this particular bipod is when it's released, not only does it turn side to side, but it will also pivot. If I'm tracking an item, tracking a deer or something like that, I can track it while it does it and then lock it down. So maybe what I'm putting myself on is not level. And that another nice thing about this, if I had 9 hands here, I could show you that another cool thing about these guys is they're allowed to be able to tighten down at any distance in between that mark. So if I have an uneven surface, I can line it up and then pivot it off here to make up for the difference. So something really to think about there. Nice rubber feet on these guys. This one's made by Blackhawk. You know, not the best, lightest system in the world, but you know, for 80 bucks, not a bad setup. The other thing I really do like about these guns is putting a mow rod on there or an Accu strut. They have a bunch of different names for them. Huge fan of these guys. They lock in the barrel and allow you to shoot most ammo pretty flat without having that barrel whip in there. So something that's really going to improve your accuracy. This particular gun is not mine, but it's a gun we've taken out and shot. And this one, we were doing 1-inch groups at 100 yards. I mean, we're talking about doing these guys at 100 yards. I mean, that is a headshot, you know, for squirrels at 100 yards, which is really impressive with a full 223 type battle weapon that is, you know, fairly light compared to some of the other weapons out there. These guns come in about 7¼ pounds when you first buy them, 7½ pounds, no matter which version you get. Adding a scope and some other things to it is going to add a little bit of weight, but not a ton. We're talking ounces for the mow rod, you know, a pound, pound and a half for something that is detachable that you can leave in your backpack as far as bipod wise. And keep in mind, if you have your sniper sock here, you can always use this as your bipod off of a branch or off of a rock. That really does give you some versatility there. And these are almost free. We're talking $4 or $5 on the build on this. So, real simple. A couple things I do not like about the Mini 14. One, their peep sights are awesome, but hard to adjust in the rear. The older sights were a little easier to adjust. These lock in really nice and tight, which I like a lot better than the old ones, but they are a little harder to adjust, not impossible. So once you get them, you basically set them and forget it. Don't worry about it. The mags are always a pain. Buying good quality magazines is very important. Buy the actual brand Ruger magazines. If you can get a hold of some of the older magazines out there, they were very nice. I shot a lot of the US magazines for a long time and they were great. Don't have any problem with those, but do not rest the gun on the magazine. So if you're not using a bipod, you're in the prone position, get the gun off the ground. You can cause malfunctions by pressing on the magazine, just like the M14. ARs doesn't have that problem, so that's an advantage plus to the AR. These are piston-driven guns, which I like that a lot. The fact of they can do, I've shot thousands of rounds before I've cleaned this gun. I mean, we're talking thousands. And you know, the gun has worked flawlessly. I never have jams. This particular gun, I've never jammed it one time. Like I said, it's not mine, but I've used it enough to where I feel pretty comfortable in saying that it has never jammed. So that is definitely a plus there. And, you know, if you're using a prepping type weapon, these guys will shoot steel case, even though it is not recommended and it will void your warranty. But if you do shoot steel case with them, they will shoot them. They'll shoot basically every ammo I've ever put through them, shoots just fine, and rips through it without any problems, which is a huge advantage over some of the ARs out there that are, oh, it won't shoot this, it won't shoot this brand, it won't do that. It only likes heavyweight bolts, lightweight bolts, whoever wants to say. They, you know, they're the prima donnas of the shooting world, but some of them are great guns. You know, as long as you're building a piston-driven AR, they're great. These particular guns, $780, huge bang for your buck here. And with some basic modifications, a very flat shooting, easy to work on gun that disassembles with almost no effort whatsoever. I mean, basically pulling up on the trigger guard here, pulling back and down, the whole gun comes apart, all the inner workings to get into in case something jams up or you have a lost, you know, broken part or anything. Really super to work, easy to work on. Something that you don't have to be a crazy person to work on it. We put a trigger kit on this one where it got it down to about 3½ pounds. It is a real shooter at this point. So this is Tate again with Blackbear Outdoors, blackbearoutdoors.com. Have a great day and we'll talk to you later.